There are some Calamity cards that are just death, so I'm really afraid we're going to get one of those, and I really hope Nick is not the first to go. Let's see what Calamity Nick has drawn.
I've been going to some dark places. I hate it when my mind races. I've got so many.
So hello, and happy Pride Month to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And that's it. Everybody else, too bad. It is officially Pride Month, and that's pretty awesome. So to celebrate Pride Month, I will bump my desk to celebrate Pride Month. One of the things we're going to be doing is more Heartstopper Game Time. So you may know that I am a big fan of board games, and one thing that I have enjoyed doing in the past has been Heartstopperizing those board games. We've done Guess the Character, which is kind of like Guess Who, except for Heartstopper characters. We've done Pictionary for Heartstopper. Yes, Benny, I know, Benny. Yeah. Tell me more. He likes to meow at his water while he's drinking it. So, anyway. So, so I have a few ideas of some games that we can Heartstopperize. It's going to be kind of an experiment. I'm not sure if all of them will actually result in anything entertaining or anything that anyone would actually want to watch, but we're gonna try and we're gonna see. So today we are going to be playing the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Heartstopper, which is the Oregon Trail card game. So if you were unaware, there's an Oregon Trail card game, and I don't know how common this game was in other countries, but in the US at least, the Oregon Trail computer game was huge back in the day. When I was in elementary school, we would go to the computer lab, and if we were very lucky, after we finished our work, we would get to play the Oregon Trail. So essentially the premise of the game, if you're not familiar, is that you and your family or group, you and your group are traveling via covered wagon, trying to cross the Oregon Trail and start a better life, but along the way you encounter a lot of difficulties and probably die of dysentery. So the card game, we start our game in Independence, Missouri, and we are trying to get to Willamette Valley, Oregon, which is our finish along the Oregon Trail. So along the way, we have these trail cards. You might have to ford a river. So some of them have you draw a calamity card, which is of course always a good thing. So yeah, in the calamity cards you will find various misfortunes, and your goal is to build a trail from Independence, Missouri, all the way to Upside Down, Oregon, all the way to Oregon, with at least one member of your party still alive. So that should give you an idea of the death rate at this game. So I've played this with friends before, and it's pretty fun. So today we're going to play it, except with Heartstopper characters. So we're going to send some of the Heartstopper characters back in time, and they are going to try to traverse the Oregon Trail together and stay alive. So this is where we will write the names of our party members. So of course, our number one party member, we have Nick Nelson, we have Charlie Spring, we have Taosu, we have Elle Argent, we have Isaac, and what the heck, we'll also bring along Imogen. Tara and Darcy are busy being cute lesbians somewhere and do not have time for this nonsense of traveling the Oregon Trail. So to give us some story building. Now this is back in the long ago days of the 1800s, I believe, fact check. So we're going to imagine that Nick and Charlie, in the long ago days of way back when, have discovered that they are more interested in each other than they are in the girls that their families keep trying to set them up with, except for Nick's mom, because she's amazing no matter what time period she's in, and is totally supportive of Nick and Charlie's relationship. So Nick and Charlie have a secret love relationship back in the long ago days, and the good news is that they're best friends Tao, Elle, Isaac, and Imogen are cool with that. Imogen took a little bit longer to come around to it because she had a thing for young Nicholas, but she was able to see with her own eyes how in love Nick and Charlie were, and so now she's cool with it. So Tao and Elle also trans in this reality, which is a very difficult thing to be back in the day, but also easier in some ways because people don't expect it. So like people are not looking around, people are not looking for signs that you are trans. They're just like, this person is wearing women's clothing, therefore they are a woman. This person is wearing men's clothing, therefore they are a man. Or so TV and movies have led me to believe. So basically we have Nick, Charlie, Tao, Elle, Isaac, and Imogen, who are all heading west because they have heard that it's a more friendly environment for them out west, that they can like set up their own homestead and live the lives that feel right to them openly. So Nick and Charlie can be in a relationship with each other, Tao and Elle can be together, Isaac can just be left alone to read his books, Imogen can do whatever her little Imogen heart desires. So all of them are looking for a better life on the other side of the country. But unfortunately, there is a long way between their hometown of, I forgot the name already, Missouri, and I forgot the name already, Oregon. So we'll see what befalls them on their journey. So they start off on a beautiful sunny morning. They all pile into the wagon, bring their belongings along, say farewell to the people that they will actually miss, and ignore the people who they won't. I thought about having them bring Nellie along for doggy moral support, but I don't want anything bad to happen to Nellie. So they pile into the wagon, they gather up all their stuff, and they head off for a new life where they can live as their true selves and be awesome. Yes. I'm an excellent storyteller. So we start off by drawing a trail card. So the way that it usually goes is that like each player has a bunch of trail cards, but it's just me and these guys. So I'm going to be drawing trail cards from the pile. Okay, so we start with this card, which says roll. I'm blocking the light. We start with this card, which says roll an even number to ford the river. Roll an odd number and lose one supply card. So I did forget, we do have supply cards. And so I'm going to deal myself 5 of these. 3, 4, 5. So then these are supplies that we can use along the way. So, for example, I have clothes. Very important. I have more clothes. I have oxen. Great. More oxen. Clean water. Very important. More clean water and more clean water. Okay. And I believe you can set these up into like a general store for the spare parts. That would have been useful. Anyway, so yeah. So if I roll an odd number, I lose one supply card. If I roll an even number, I get to ford the river successfully. So let's find out with this beautiful die that the numbers are not peeling off of at all. Alright, I have rolled a peeling off 5, which is an odd number, which means I lose one supply card. So I'm going to randomly, I can see it though, I'm going to randomly choose a supply card that you lose, and it's clean water. Oh dear. Okay, so I'll put this back into the pile. We have lost some clean water, but that's fine. I'm sure we can like drink water that we find in nature. That's not how you get dysentery or anything. Alright, though I just remembered, like, the way that we know if something happens to someone is by pulling a card for them. So we'll say that was Nick. That was Nick's card. So Nick, unfortunately, has lost a supply card, but then was able to ford the river. So we forded the river. We're on our way. Okay, so we move on to Charlie. So let's see what card Charlie pulls. Okay, just a nice stretch of green grass for Charlie. Next up, we have Tao. So here's what Tao draws. Oh, another nice stretch of green grass for Tao. Next, we have Elle. Elle has drawn... Draw a calamity card now. So we have Elle drawing a calamity card. Let's see what it is. Oh no. Elle has gotten a broken arm. Your arm is on the mend. Sit out for 2 rounds. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. That means that Elle cannot get dysentery for 2 rounds, so that's good. Okay. So let's think about what happened. So let's say that, okay, they're taking a break. They forded the river. It was really annoying. Nick lost some of their supplies, some of their water, while they were trying to ford the river, which was really annoying. And they made it to the other side, and they were so tired after traveling a little bit further that they decided to just rest for a bit. So they've camped out, they're walking around, and Tao decides to lighten the mood by doing some dance moves. But back in the day dance moves, which I don't know what they look like, but use your imagination. So Tao is doing some happy dance moves that are period appropriate. And while he's doing them, he trips over a rock and is about to tumble into the river when Elle leaps forward and grabs him and saves him. But as they fall, she twists her arm and breaks her arm in the process, which is very sad, but she did it for love, to save Tao, and now she gets to gripe at him about his dancing being the reason why she broke her arm. So she did break her arm, which means she sits out for 2 rounds, but it could be worse. It could be much worse. She's fine. She's okay. And so is Tao. His dancing is not so okay, but he's okay. Alright, so next, we move on to Isaac. So let's choose a card for Isaac. Oh no, it's another calamity card. So let's see what happens to Isaac. Okay. Let me do it this side. Broken tongue. And it's not his actual tongue. You will be surprised to learn. So you have broken a wagon tongue. Roll 4, 5, or 6 to repair now. Roll a 1, 2, or 3, and 1 spare parts card must be used to repair the broken tongue. 1 round of play without repair, and everyone in your party has died. My god. Okay, that seems a bit extreme, but alright. So we need to roll a 4, a 5, or a 6 to repair it, because we don't have any spare parts cards, so. Okay, I once again rolled a 5. It is the day of 5s, but in this case, it actually helps us. So we've repaired the broken tongue. It's all fine. We're good. Okay, so we'll put that one back. All right, Isaac, no problem. But we'll say what happened with that was that Isaac was reading his book in the back. Isaac is just sitting back there. Like everyone else packed food and clothes and stuff like that, and Isaac just packed like all the books that he owns. And so he's sitting in the back of the wagon reading his books, but the wagon goes over a bump. The book flies from his hands as he's trying to rescue it. He disturbs the horses go a little crazy, and in the resulting chaos, the tongue is broken. It's very sad. Book-related tongue injury happens all the time. We're okay. We managed to fix it. Isaac has read so many books that he's also read one on wagon repair, so he could help them repair it. He could help them repair it very quickly. We're good. Okay. Next, and the end of round 1, we're moving on to Imogen. Let's see what happens to Imogen. Okay, we've come across another river that we need to ford. Okay, so Imogen is now in charge of getting us across this river. As with before, if we roll an even number, we ford the river, no problem. If we roll an odd number, we lose another supply card. So let's see what Imogen does for us. Come on, anything but 5 and also not an odd number. What the When it fell on the floor, it was a 6. I think we should take that result. I think the 6 counts, right? Right? Okay, I'll give up a supply card. All right, we've once again lost more. We've lost more clean water. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And I've dropped the card. This is going really well. All right, so we have forded the river and lost more clean water. So what happened this time was Imogen was in charge. Imogen was driving the wagon at that time. So Nick was really tired after fording the river the first time, so he and Charlie were snuggling in the back of the wagon. Isaac was reading his book. Tao had his arm around Elle and was kind of petting her hair and like apologizing again for the fact that his dancing caused her to break her arm. And so Imogen was like, I'll take the wheel. It's not a wheel. I'll take the reins. It's fine. I'm good with horses. Let's do it. I'm an ally, la la la. I'm a horse ally, I can drive the wagon. But we came upon another river, and Imogen was like, don't worry about it, guys, I got this, I know how to ford, I've been fording stuff for my whole life. She's southern, I guess. Well, they are from Missouri. So Imogen tries to ford the river. Unfortunately, it does not go as well as one would like, and more clean water drifts away downstream, but they do get across the river, so that's something. Yay. Okay, so that means we're on to round 2, and we're back to Nick. And let's see what the cards hold in store for Nick. Okay, I don't want to ford another river, so we're gonna shuffle the cards a bit here. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Draw a calamity card. Nick. Not Nick. Don't take Nick from us. Okay. Calamity card for Nick. Oh, okay. We have extreme cold. The temperature is below freezing. Bundle up and beat the cold with one clothing card. One round of play without a clothing card and you have died of extreme cold. Well, luckily, we lost all our clean water, but we did not lose our clothes. So we have lots of stylish, cowboy-esque clothes for Mr. Nick Nelson to put on. So there's extreme cold, which just means that, you know, our guys have no choice but to snuggle up in the back of the wagon. There's just nothing else you can do. So they put on their warmest clothes and they snuggle on up together, and they're good. They're fine. They're all good. That's how you beat the cold. Moving on to Charlie. Let's see what Charlie has. How many rivers are we Okay, how many river cards are there in this? Okay, it's literally just like trail and rivers. There's a lot of rivers. There are like way too many rivers. Alright, so we've drawn a river card. Yay! It's another freaking river. So as before, we must roll an even number to ford the river, and an odd number we lose, probably more clean water. So, will I finally roll a number that is not 5? Let's find out. I wonder if the fact that like the sticker is coming off on the 5 is why I keep, but that wouldn't make sense because the 5 is on the top. So, okay, come on, any number but 5. There's something wrong with this dice. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Okay, this time I rolled a 4, and I'm gonna allow it because something wrong with this dice. So we've successfully forded the river. So what happened that time is Charlie was driving the wagon, and he was so overflowing with happiness and warm fuzzy feelings from the cold weather cuddling session with Nick that he just forded that river no problem. All the clean water is safe and in the wagon still. So, hooray. Okay, we're moving on to Tao. Let's see what happens with Tao. Oh. You have arrived at a fort. Collect 2 supply cards. Alright. So this means we have reached a fort. So as it says, we get to choose 2 cards from the supply card deck. So we have drawn 100 bullets. Oh my. And spare parts. Nice. Okay. Those are both things that we did not have before, so I'm glad that we have them now. So Tao went into town and bought some supplies, leaving Nick and Charlie to, you know, take care of the horses and cuddle some more because, you know, you gotta cuddle. And it's still a little chilly out there, you gotta cuddle. And Elle is resting her broken arm, Isaac is busy reading, and Imogen... What does Imogen do on her time off? We don't really know much about Imogen's like outside interests aside from being a professional ally. So yeah, let's say Imogen is just taking a walk around the countryside and just kind of enjoying herself and then chatting a little with Nick and Charlie and Elle and stuff like that. So, okay, so Tao still feels really guilty about the fact that Elle broke her arm because of him. So he volunteered to go walk into town and get the supplies, and he comes back not with food or water, but with 100 bullets and some spare parts. And everyone says, "Good job, Tao, thanks." And they get on their way. So because Elle has a broken arm, she skips this turn, so we move straight on to Isaac. So Isaac puts down his book, or actually more likely carries his book to the front of the wagon and is reading it while he's driving the wagon, which sounds completely safe to me. Okay, unsurprisingly, Isaac has encountered a calamity. Okay, so while Isaac is distracted driving, he encounters... Oh no. Bad water. Your oxen. Okay, it's just the oxen. I mean, that's bad, but at least it's not us. Your oxen drink bad water. Flush away bad water with 1 clean water card. If 2 bad water cards are collected, then 2 oxen die. 1 round of play without an oxen card and everyone in your party has died. That's so dramatic. Luckily, we had 3 clean water cards. So we can play our final remaining clean water card to fix the oxen. I guess if you drink bad water, just drink some good water and you're fine. That's just veterinary science right there. So our oxen are back on the case. So what happened was Isaac was reading his book and he got to a really interesting part and he just kind of let the oxen drift. Like the wagon was just kind of drifting. And in the meantime, the oxen was like, "Ooh, water," and wandered over to like this sludgy, muddy slop with like dead fish lying in it, and it was like, and then the oxen got sick and Isaac was like, "Oh, how did that happen?" But because he has read so many books, he has read books on veterinary science, and he knows the only way to cure an oxen who has drunk bad water is to give him good water. So that's what he did, and now everything's fine and they're driving along, and it's now Imogen's turn. And Imogen is gonna ford another river because there are 1,000 rivers on the Oregon Trail, apparently. That means we get to roll the dice again. I wonder what number we will find. Okay. Oh, we got a 6. Alright, that's an even number. So, Imogen, after her last horrible fording incident, has been just psyching herself up like, I'm going to ford the next river. The next river, we're not going to lose any clean water. We're not going to lose any supplies. We're going to ford that river. I'm going to do it great. And she does. Imogen comes through, and on they go. So we're going to do 5 rounds of this, and this is round number 3. Okay, so here we are. So far, everyone is still alive. Knock on wood. I'm sure they won't remain that way for long, but for now, everyone is still alive. Nick and Charlie have been getting in a lot of cuddles. It's not even cold out anymore, but Nick and Charlie are like, "Oh no, it's you know, we still need to cuddle." So they cuddle. Tao is doing everything he can to make life easy for Elle, whose broken arm is on the mend but not totally done yet. Isaac is working his way through all the books that he brought. He's about a third of the way through the 75 volumes that he brought. And Imogen is just having a good time, enjoying driving the wagon. She has new confidence after succeeding at fording the river, and she's just enjoying being with her friends. So now, back to Mr. Nicholas Nelson. Let's see what the cards have in store. Okay. Draw a calamity card. Oh no, Nick. I'm so scared for Nick. Okay. There are some calamity cards that are just death, so I'm really afraid we're gonna get one of those, and I really hope Nick is not the first to go. Let's see what calamity Nick has drawn. This is not a calamity at all. This is food. You go hunting. Collect 200 pounds of rabbit and bison if you have 1 bullets card. Well, guess what? Because Mr. Tao Su was like, we're gonna buy some bullets. We have bullets. So this means we now have 200 pounds of rabbit and bison. That is a lot. Like, how many rabbits is that exactly? That's a lot of rabbits. I guess the bison makes up for some of it, but that just makes me think of Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and don't eat Appa. Appa's cool. Okay, all right. So that was a calamity, but it was not. It was not a calamity at all. It was not a calamity because Tao bought bullets, I guess. Okay, so what happened there is that, Nick is a gentle soul. Nick is a kind and gentle soul. But, his love, Charlie, is depending on him. The food is running low because Tao bought bullets and spare parts instead of food at the fort. So he's like, I hate it, but we're going to have to go hunting. I'm going to have to kill some animals. And, he made sure, he's talented enough, he made sure that they were clean shots, that the animals didn't suffer, and he felt bad about it. He apologized to them, and they used up all the parts of the animal. Nothing went to waste, and we're moving on. So, 200 pounds of rabbit and bison. Yeah. All right. So, moving on. Okay, next up is Mr. Charlie Spring. So, Charlie's at the wheel. Let's see what he gets. If it's another ford, I'm not... There's so many rivers. All right, you know what? I'm just going to look through the deck and find... Okay. I'm not fixing the deck. What are you talking about? You have arrived at a town. Collect one supply card or remove one calamity card from play. Oh. So the only calamity card we have in play is Elle's broken arm, but that's gone after this round. So I say we just get a supply card. Okay, so Charlie pulls us up to a town. So Imogen, Tao, and Elle go browsing around the shops and have a lovely time, while Charlie goes off to buy supplies with Nick coming with him, and Isaac stays behind to read his book and guard the wagon because that's what he wanted to do. So let's see what supply Charlie picks up. Charlie got us some clean water. Well done, Charlie. Charlie's like, yeah, so I mean, I know the bullets that Tao got were useful, but I'm going to get some clean water because I think we could use that on our way because I've heard many stories of dysentery and I don't want to go out that way. So Charlie got some clean water for them to use on the road. So they wrap up their happy little excursion in the town, and then they're back on the road, and it's Tao at the wheel. Okay, let's see what happens with Tao at the wheel. Okay, it's another river. I feel like maybe they should have like mixed it up a little bit with the trail cards, because it's really just like calamity card, river, calamity card, river, calamity card, river. But okay, so once again, we're trying to roll an even number, or else we lose a supply card. And we have rolled a 2. Okay, the curse of the 5 may be over. Now that I've said that, I'm sure it won't be. But this means Tao... Okay, so Tao, after what happened with Elle, where his careless dancing led to Elle breaking her arm, he has been hyper-focused. So when it comes time for him to drive the wagon and lead them across the river, he does it just brilliantly. He's going to protect... He's going to make sure that Elle has a smooth ride while she's healing, and he's going to do it, and so he does it, and it's great. And we're all very proud of Tao. Okay. All right, so once again, Elle skips her turn. This is the last time she skips her turn, unless she gets another broken arm next time, but this is the last time she skips her turn, and she'll have a turn again next time. Okay, so we move on to Isaac. So Isaac takes the wheel. And what happens to Isaac? No, I'm not fording another river. Oh, okay. We have arrived at a fort. So time to collect 2 more supply cards. Wow. I did not stack the deck that time. Not that I've ever done it before. They just left a town, but once again, but this time they've come to a fort, and the fort has a lot of supplies. So Isaac heads off into the fort to pick up supplies. And at first, he is sidetracked by the little library that they have there at the fort, because what fort would be complete without a library? So Isaac spends far too much time at the library, and by the time he realizes that he has spent too much time at the library, he's like, oh crap. That's what he says. That's a period-appropriate expression for sure. He says, oh crap, and he runs to the supply area and just grabs the first things he sees and hurries back to the wagon because he knows they need to leave. And what he grabbed was clean water, and clothes. Okay, so not bad, Isaac. Despite the fact that it was a hurried sort of situation, he did grab some pretty good supplies. So the supplies we have now, we have two oxen, we have 2 sets of clothes, like this, and 2 sets of clean water, and 1 set of spare parts. So, that's pretty good. We no longer have bullets, but that's fine because poor Nick killed half of the wildlife population, the entire rabbit population, and a few bison. So, okay. All right, next up, it's Imogen. Imogen at the wheel. Okay, so let's see what trail card Imogen gets. Okay, so, Imogen has gotten a calamity card. Okay, so Imogen's getting a little tired of the road. Like, she's enjoying spending time with her friends, but it feels like they've been traveling forever. And so, as she's driving, she's getting a little distracted, and oh no. Oh, Imogen. Oh no. Okay. So, Imogen's driving the wagon, and everyone else is sleeping in the back. And she doesn't want to disturb them, but she's thirsty. So she sees a clean little stream off the side of the road and goes over and quietly cups her hands together and drinks some water and goes, ah. But unfortunately, it was not good water. And Imogen dies of dysentery. No, Imogen. Imogen died of dysentery. Oh no. Okay, I mean, we made it a really long time. I messed up my hair. We made it a really long time without anyone tragically dying. But yeah, so unfortunately, we have lost Imogen. It's very sad, but she's in a better place of allyship right now. So, normally what you would do, what we're supposed to do is erase her name on this side, and then on this side we make a little tombstone for her. So we'll just write Imogen. Yeah, so there's Imogen's little tombstone, and you're supposed to write a little epitaph for her, but I don't know what to put that wouldn't be in poor taste. So everyone is very, very startled and very sad that we have lost Imogen, and they bury her in a nice little place with lots of beautiful flowers, and somberly carry on with their journey. So they're getting so close. This is the second to last round of this game. So we're back to Nick. It is now Nick's turn to drive the wagon. So Nick gets another river. It's another river. Okay, and we've rolled a 2 again, so no problem fording that river. We're really cooking now. Next up, it's Charlie at the wheel. Let's see what happens to Charlie. Oh no. Okay, so Charlie gets a calamity card. So Charlie's driving the wagon. Nick is in the back, chatting with Tao. Elle is finally feeling better, so she's like stretching her arm around, and Nick's kind of examining it and like making sure it feels okay, and chatting with Tao, and Isaac is reading his book as usual. They're all a little sad that Imogen's not there with them anymore, but she's in their hearts forever. So Charlie is driving the wagon, and oh no. Okay, so Charlie's driving the wagon, and as they're going along, Charlie is musing on how nice life is going to be for them when they finally get west. And he and Nick are living in their own little homestead, off in the middle of nowhere, where they can be together and no one will judge them or have anything to say about it. And their friends will be living nearby, and the spirit of Imogen will be floating and being an ally, watching them from up above. And he's not paying the closest attention to the road. And unfortunately, they hit a big rut in the road, and there's a broken axle. So, roll a 4, 5, or 6 to repair now. Roll a 1, 2, or 3, and 1 spare parts card must be used to repair the broken axle. Charlie hits the rut in the road, and the axle breaks, and he's all like, oh my god, I'm sorry. And Nick from the back is like, I thought we banned the S word. And Charlie's like, but seriously, I broke the wagon, I'm really sorry. And so they all get out to look at the damage and see if they can fix it. And I rolled a 4, which means we can repair it right now. So they look at the damage. Nick and Isaac are kind of like frowning at it and looking at it, and they're like, this is no big deal. We can fix this, no problem. We don't even need to use any of our spare parts. So they fix it up super quick. It's all good, and then they're back on the road, heading west. Okay, so it's on to Tao. Okay, so Charlie's still a little shaken up about, breaking the wagon and all. So he heads into the back to snuggle with Nick while Tao comes up to take the wheel. It's not a wheel. While Tao comes up to take the reins. Tao gets a calamity. Okay, let's see what happens to Tao. Oh no. So it's getting dark outside. And so Tao is like, hey guys, should we pull over for the night? And they're like, yeah, okay. So they pull over for the night. They have like their nice little heating up some beans or whatever over the fire and telling stories and singing songs and cuddling. And then Tao is like, hey, it's a really nice night. Why don't we walk up to the top of that hill over there and do some stargazing? Because he knows that Elle really likes looking at the stars, and he wants to do something extra nice for her because she's finally feeling well again. Her arm is back, and she's been a little sad since Imogen died of dysentery. So off they go to look at some stars. But while they're gone, a thief comes and steals one supply card from us. So let's see what the thief steals from us. Okay, the thief comes and steals not our clean water. No, man. Okay. Yeah. So a thief comes in the night and is like, oh, look at all this loot. I'm going to take a single bottle of Aquafina and be on my way. And off they go. Okay, so they come back to the wagon. They realize someone has stolen their clean water, and that sucks, but there's nothing they can do about it. It does kind of extra suck because that's how Imogen died, from drinking not good water and getting dysentery. But, they're still alive. They haven't lost most of their supplies. The guy did not steal any of Isaac's books, which Isaac is very happy about. Like, he immediately runs to his books and, like, starts counting every single one to make sure all 75 are accounted for. But yeah, and then they're off on their way, and Elle takes the wheel. So Elle has not driven the wagon in a while because she's had a broken arm. Now she's back at it, and she's, raring to go, really excited about where they're going and the fact that they're going to get there. And she encounters a calamity immediately. Okay, alright, okay. Oh, okay, alright. So, they're entering the mountains now. Are there mountains on the Oregon Trail? Probably, I don't know. They're entering the mountains now, and as they travel up, it gets colder and colder, even though there were spring flowers a little while ago, because I said they put some on Imogen's grave. Now it's really cold. So they encounter some extreme cold. The temperature is below freezing. So bundle up and beat the cold with one clothing card. One round of play without a clothing card and you have died of extreme cold. Oh no. But luckily, the thief did not steal our clothes, and we are in fact able to bundle up and cuddle up and beat the cold. So they continue their trip through the mountains. They bundle up, they cuddle up. While Elle is driving, Tao is there, like, with his arm around her and his head on her shoulder, and it's very cozy. Nick and Charlie are cuddling in the back, and Isaac, like, leans his back up against Nick and Charlie to kind of get a little bit of their warmth while he's still reading his book, and it's all very cozy and nice. We move on to Isaac. So Isaac comes up to take the wheel, and another calamity. Okay. Oh, I'm so nervous because, like, there's quite a few death cards in this pack. So Isaac and his latest book come up to drive the wagon. As usual, he's reading with one hand and driving with the other. Just like, very safe driving practices. But unfortunately, the book starts getting really good again, and he doesn't notice that there is a big rock in the middle of the road, and the wagon wheel breaks. We have to roll a 4, 5, or a 6 to repair it. 1, 2, or 3, and we have to use a spare parts card. 1 round of play without repair, and everyone in your party has died. Of course. So we want to roll a 4, 5, or 6. So I have rolled a 2. Okay, but it's okay because I have spare parts that Tao picks up along with 100 bullets. So we're fine. Goodbye, broken wagon wheel. So Isaac apologizes for breaking the wagon. And, Nick's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's okay, we all have broken this wagon at some point or another. And when they go to look at the wagon wheel, they're like, oh, I don't know if we can fix this. This looks a little bit too broken. And Tao's like, I have just the thing for that. And he bustles into the back and comes back with the spare parts that he bought. And he's so proud. And Elle is just like, but is fondly exasperated with his enthusiasm, and they fix the wheel and they're back on the road, and we enter the final round. And it's really impressive that 5 of the 6 people are still alive. So I'm really worried about what's going to happen in this last round, but we'll see. So we're back to Nick. Nick is driving the wagon, and time to ford another river. Okay, so as a reminder, with the river we want to roll an even number. Odd number means we lose a supply card. I have rolled a 4 again, so we're fine. Okay, so Nick, once again, super competent, wonderful, with his strong rugby arms, is able to ford the river. I'm not sure exactly what's involved with fording a river, and if you need strong rugby arms, but he has them, and he does it. So we move on to Charlie. They're getting so close to Willamette Valley, they can practically taste it. They're getting so excited, they're almost there. Charlie takes the wheel, and calamity card. Okay. Alright. This is the last chance that Charlie has to die on the way. Let's see what we get. Okay, so Charlie's driving the wagon, and Nick is sitting next to him, keeping him company while he's driving. He has his arm around him, and they're riding off into the sunset, and the voices of their friends are rising in the background. It's all beautiful and stuff like that. So after a while, Charlie pulls the wagon to a stop and gets out, and he's like, oh, hey, I noticed some berry bushes over there, so I'm gonna go pick some, and that way we won't have to kill the entire rabbit population of Oregon like you killed the entire rabbit population of that state back there, whatever that was. So he goes off to gather some berries, and while he's out there, a bear appears and is like, those are my berries. It's a talking bear. No, the bear does not talk, but Charlie understands the context of the bear's growl, that it means, those are my berries, please leave. And it comes like roaring towards him, and Charlie, being a very fast runner, zooms away. He's already got some berries, so that's good. So he has some berries in his pockets and in like a little bag, and he just sprints, and the bear can't keep up because Charlie is super fast. But just as Charlie is cresting the hill to come back to the wagon, he trips over a rock and rolls down a hill and breaks his arm. Oh no, he broke his arm. But it's okay. So Nick is like, Charlie! And he comes running over, and like the bear has gotten bored and gone back to his berries. But Charlie has broken his arm. So like Nick leads him tenderly into the back of the wagon and cares for him, and is like very upset and very worried. And like Charlie's like, it's fine, it's just a broken arm. And Elle has just been through this herself, so she's there to help out. And like Tao is cracking jokes, and Isaac brings up one of his medical books and is like, look here, we can do it like this, it'll be fine. And Charlie gets his broken arm all like mended and stuff, and like put in a sling, and so it's gonna be fine. Nick feels really guilty about it because it's like, I shouldn't have let you go alone. And Charlie's like, you have to let me go alone sometimes somewhere. But it's fine. He's not dead. It's fine. Okay, so Nick and Charlie have officially survived. Tao. Okay, Tao takes the wheel. It's not a wheel. Tao takes the reins. And a beautiful, clean stretch of road with no calamities. Nice. Moving on to Elle. Let's see what happens to Elle. Calamity. Okay, so Elle takes the reins. And, she's been kind of cheering Charlie up and, trying to help him feel better because she knows what it's like to suddenly break your arm while on the Oregon Trail. So she volunteers to drive the wagon so that Nick can hang out in the back with Charlie and Tao can, joke with Charlie and keep his spirits up and stuff like that. So while she's driving, Charlie did manage to get some berries while he was running from the bear and breaking his arm, but unfortunately he was not able to get quite enough. And the food supplies are low, and they're starving. Survive another day with 1 food card. 2 rounds of play without a food card and you have died of starvation. Okay, so we're almost where we're going. So I think we're okay. We're just going to be really hungry when we get there, I think is what this means. Because we're on the last round. So I think we're okay. So the food is running low. We're getting so close to the end of our journey. We only have a little bit left to go, but everyone is feeling really weak. So like Nick is feeling weak because Nick eats a lot. He's like a, he's a strong rugby guy. He's feeling very weak. Charlie's doing pretty okay. Tao is weak and complaining about it a lot. Elle is just kind of, stiff upper lip, but she's very, very weak and tired as well. But Isaac, who has been conserving his strength all this time, just sitting still and reading his books, still has some energy left. So Isaac takes the reins. Let's see what happens to Isaac. Okay, we have 1 final calamity card for Isaac. And this will determine how many people from our party are going to make it to the end of the Oregon Trail. This is the situation. There's almost no food left. They've eaten all of Nick's rabbits, all the bison, and have just a few of Charlie's berries left. And all of them are too weak. They're lying in the back. Charlie's okay, so he's kind of taking care of the others, but Nick, Tao, and Elle are just like, they're just lying in the back of the wagon like, they need food. But Isaac has been kept strong by sitting very still and reading books all day, has taken the reins and is like, I'm going to get my friends to the end of the Oregon Trail. That's what I'm going to do. So he sets aside his book and he grabs the reins and he's like, yeah, and the oxen go, wah, and onward they go down the trail. And he can see it. He can see the mountain of Willamette Valley. The mountain of Willamette. I guess it's like next to them. I don't know. He can see Willamette Valley in the distance. They're almost there. They have just a few more hours to go. And then, no. Okay, oh no. So, you remember how that thief stole our clean water? Alright, so here's what happens. Everyone is pretty weak in the back from starvation. And Isaac is like, I'm gonna get us to the end of the Oregon Trail. I'm gonna get us to the life we've always dreamed of. And like he's driving and driving and driving, and as he's going, he's aware that he's feeling a little bit sick, that he's feeling a little bit ill. But he's determined. He's gonna get them where they're going. And he does it. He pulls the wagon in to Willamette Valley, Oregon, and he drives them straight over to the food store, and they get food, they get water, they get clothes, they get everything they need, they get patched up, and with the money that they have remaining, they buy a little bit of land, and their plans are to build their little homestead, their connected homesteads, like one home for Nick and Charlie, one for Tao and Elle, and then like a little cottage for Isaac. But unfortunately, Isaac is not going to get to live in that cottage because he has died of dysentery. No. So Isaac was so heroic. It is only because of Isaac that they made it that last bit of road along the Oregon Trail. But unfortunately, a few days later, he succumbs to dysentery and is buried with his 75 books on the property where they would have built his beautiful little cottage. And they end up building a little cottage anyway and fill it with books, and it becomes a free library for anyone passing through. So anyone who's passing through who wants to read a book can come to this place and read, and it's called the Isaac Library. No! Okay, so I guess we have to erase Isaac from the board and put him on the little tombstone in the back. Not a good time to have a name beginning with I guess. So our final crew, Nick, Charlie, Tao, and Elle, have successfully made it across the Oregon Trail to Willamette Valley, Oregon, where they live happily ever after in their happy, queer little homestead with Isaac's library. And unfortunately, both succumbing to dysentery along the way were Imogen and Isaac, who will be remembered fondly always. Yes. Okay, so that was the Oregon Trail card game, and frankly, I am shocked that so much of our party survived, because a total team wipe is completely possible. But yeah, we made it through with only Isaac and Imogen succumbing to the same affliction, that dreaded dysentery. We do have Charlie with a broken arm still, but it will heal, and he and Nick can continue snuggling and cuddling and being wonderful together. And Tao and Elle will be right next door in their own little homestead, and it will be a wonderful new life for them. Alright, so that was today's interesting episode of Heartstopper Game Time. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions for games that we could Heartstopperize. I have a few ideas, but I'm always happy to hear your thoughts as well. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts were about this trip down the Oregon Trail. And yeah, so as always, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting. Huge thanks as always to our patrons who are amazing, fantastic, wonderful, spectacular, all those things. Special shout out to our Nick Nelson members, Kelly Walker, Paul Z, Kent Smither, Kim Engel, Lauren Javier, and Mark Walker. Okay, that's going to do it for me, so I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time of day it may happen to be, and don't get dysentery. Alright, bye.
Feel the room get colder. You can rest.